I'm very lucky in the fact that I don't do anything I don't enjoy, but none of it has ever really come that naturally, so I just enjoy kind of falling from the sky and just landing really hard on a target. I'm a World's Strongest Man competitor at the 2017 Strongman Games in the 80 kilo division. I have been a professional tattooer since I was 21. I'm 31 now. I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary. I actually suffer from a learning disability, and I couldn't read until I was almost 12. So as a kid, I had to learn how to use context clues and stuff like that on how to read. So stuff like comic books and things like that really helped. And I drew a lot as a kid. My grandfather was actually a nautical and Civil War art dealer. So art was kind of had this overarching presence in my life. But when I turned about 12 and I finally learned how to read, luckily through some really good teachers and counselors and stuff like that, I got really into music, and literally from 5th grade until I started working in a tattoo shop, everything in my life revolved around basically attempting to be a full-time musician. Oddly enough, had I never gotten into music, I would have never got into tattooing as a job. But had I not gotten into tattooing, I absolutely can almost guarantee I never would have gotten into working out, lifting, training, physical activity. My lifestyle was, I would say, worse than sedentary. I was basically just staying up till 5 in the morning, waking up at 11:30, and just sucking down sweet tea and eating crap all day. At my biggest, I was about 230 pounds, and I'm not tall whatsoever, and I didn't really have any muscle mass to speak of, so I was pretty hefty. So tattooing, by way of being unhealthy, led me to working out and training. So I took a job in Portland, Oregon, working for a group of guys out there that had a brand new shop. They all worked out as a group together basically every morning. And they didn't force me to, but I was kind of pressured. You know, we do this together, and everyone started out like me. Everyone was very unhealthy, not in shape, overweight, ate like crap. So that's what got me started. Took off, I lost a lot of weight, got in really good shape, and I kind of continued. It was a very just traditional, bodybuilding oriented type of working out. Luckily I went to a gym that had a small track around the weight area, and I started kind of noticing that if I did kind of a full body multi-jointed movement like a deadlift or a bench press, and then I ran a couple of laps, it seemed to elicit a little bit more of a response out of my body. Continued that, and that led to CrossFit. I didn't know if I wanted to do a bodybuilding show, if I wanted to do a Spartan race. Powerlifting was kind of catching my eye. Strongman and CrossFit were the ones that piqued my interest, though. And then went to a friend of mine's gym. He had just opened a CrossFit gym. He was the first trainer I ever met. And always kept my eye on Strongman. I thought it was super cool. I love the events. I think CrossFit and Strongman have a lot more in common than Strongman and powerlifting, just because every competition is so different. There's no telling what there could be, which I find really cool. And I like the time domain. 30 seconds to 90 seconds of work, just all out, probably gonna be really heavy and hard. A year ago, I signed up for a Strongman event and got a coach and decided I was just gonna narrow the focus and focus on Strongman. It went really well. It was actually the North Carolina Strength Challenge, promoted by Lynn, who's doing the 2017 Strongman Games. So I think that had I not done the 2 years or so of CrossFit, I wouldn't have been just as generally physically prepared to take on Strongman like I did, because I literally went from CrossFitting 5 or 6 days a week to training for Strongman literally overnight. I had a call with my coach. We kind of talked about goals and the way we approach things, and that was it. Just switched over. I would say with Strongman, the thing that I like the most is kind of what we were talking about earlier, doing what you're good at. I kind of quickly realized after a couple of years of lifting and experimenting with kind of all these different sort of techniques or sports or whatever, that I tend to be really good at short, kind of all out, moderately loaded type of workouts. Like in CrossFit, there's a workout called Grace, and it's 30 clean and jerks for time at 135. Loading's pretty light, especially if you're a male and you're above 170 pounds. That's fairly light. That's my favorite workout of all time. 30 reps, as fast as you can. If you slow down, you've lost. And with Strongman, it's the same thing. It's heavy, it's fast. And I really like, a Strongman event is almost always going to be 60 seconds. Really like how within that very short time domain, especially with like some of the medleys where there's multiple implements, there surprisingly can be so many things that can go wrong that can completely throw that off. I really enjoy that because I think you've got to have agility, speed, strength, flexibility, positional power, but you also have to have a really good kind of self-awareness while your blood pressure in your body is through the roof. So I actually really enjoy the events where I like really fast and kind of walking on a tight wire. I think that's where the best athletes will stand out, is the more technical events, because it's so heavy and it's so fast. The person that has their kind of game, as it would be called, wired in the most, is going to be the one to succeed. Honestly, I think the 4 years of just multiple types of working out helped me immensely. I think the 2 years of bodybuilding style workout really gave me a good fundamental base on how to squat, bench, deadlift, move dumbbells. And then the 2 years of CrossFit, I think without those 4 years of preparation of just generally like moving and picking and sweating and kind of suffering under a barbell, or a 20-pound wall ball will absolutely ruin your life in the right way. I think I came into it doing a lot of the basic principles of Strongman, just not in Strongman yet. I didn't have to learn how to go hard. I'm having a blast. It's a lot of fun.